Hello everyone, this is Maffuman to the Starcraft Star Battle. This is a 6-on-6 ship-building action game starring Kent Mulberry. Kent Mulberry, the carrier who's going to warp all the way to... wait for it, and there. Blippy Cheese, the Arbiter, comes on in there with Electromagnetic Storm, has Jack as a Dreadnought, coming on in there 1.61 speed, a bunch of Griffins to farm. Can be helpful if used correctly to farm. Obviously, only to farm, not really going to attack capital ships with them, but let's see what happens. We got Bilbo Dragon, 1.82 speed, no upgrades on the Overlord here, but obviously can use Mutalisk to farm and get into and out of combat super quickly. Looks like we got Tearing Her Up. Tearing Her Up has 4 laser batteries, 1.71 speed, one-shot farming. Does have TAC fighters to farm a little bit as well, but the main focus right there is those laser batteries. And Marine, 1.51 speed, has particle disruptors as well as interceptors at 3. Looks like Bilbo Dragon showing off that 1.82 speed. You're not going to catch him. Chen the Dreadnought with 1.51 speed and explosive charge. Obviously, as he's facing them, they will do some damage, but he can slip into and out of combat super quickly. He has 152 to already spend his money on stuff. Looks like Conway 2, the second Conway, has 4 lasers, needle spines, lasers, whatever. 1.61 speed, going to do some damage against Tearing Her Up. Middle Buddy has 1.71 speed, 4 longboat missiles, gonna definitely punish the carrier right here. Hank's Inji has 1.71 speed, rates, and it's just a frigate, so the frigate does damage pretty effectively even without upgrades. And it looks like Marine's gonna take a whole bunch of damage. Looks like we got an explosion from Chen. That's the explosive charge on Marine, and Marine is absolutely gonna get killed in the first couple seconds right here. Looks like there's a storm from Blippy Cheese onto the entire Terran army, but at what cost? I mean, they lost one of their people already. Looks like Kent Mulberry and Getaway are gonna have some hot frigate on carrier side action going on. Looks like carrier has 1.51 speed and Getaway 1.71. 71 is going to be obviously faster than that, and can farm a little bit. Look at this on the side. Looks like Hank's Inji, Milch Buddy, Chen, as well as Apnea. They're going to go for 2 carriers in the very beginning of the game, taking out 2 carriers in the very beginning of the game. Kabam! Very quick, decisive, taking out the 2 arguably most important ships. Now, I don't like that as a thing, having ships that are more and less important. However, there are definitely ships that have compounding goodness as the game goes on, as they get more farm. In the very beginning, they might be weak because of X, Y, and Z. However, once they get a certain amount of money and a certain amount of farm, they are kind of vital for most operations of combat, and that's absolutely the role with carrier. Interceptors are fantastic at doing damage against Phoenixes and interceptors and all that stuff to farm, but once they get a bunch of money, are also good against capital ships. And once they get a bunch more money, they're even better against capital ships. They can snipe things that they really shouldn't. You don't have to attack them very far. They have Vortex and Tempest and all that stuff. So picking them up is a very fantastic decision from the red side. They are going to move back though. They can't stay in combat forever. They have to move back at some point. Looks like Tearing Her Up's super early nuke on Getaway C. 1.71 speed, got those afterburners. That Cheeto dust right there is going to keep on pushing them away, and will he get nuked? He will not. Without the afterburners, he might have been picked up by a very early nuke. Milch Buddy, going along the side, does have some time to use his money just to farm. He's not optimized for farming, but you still 2-shot farm with the normal standard upgrades that you start off with. Having 1-shot farm, obviously 1-shots the farm, and makes you do it a little bit quicker. As we can see, you can still farm and use your TAC fighters and such to extend that. Looks like going back to base, Chen 341. We have Milch Buddy 543, Apnea 566.77. Looks like Hank's Inji. Hey, Hank's Inji 603 already. The red side is not necessarily hurt, so they can spend all their money that they just got in combat. Looks like Getaway C already came out of his upgrades. Has 1.82 speed, using those afterburners, getting a little bit further, going to be attacked by Blippy Cheese. Blippy Cheese is going to use that electromagnetic storm to do whatever he possibly can, scare them off, do some area of effect damage, let them know that you can't just be unattacked right there. Looks like tearing her up is going to be the one who had the nuke. It was a $400 ability that he farmed out in like the first couple of seconds of the game. That is fantastic, and it almost worked to get something. Nuke works better as a defensive move or basically wherever you can get timing. He happens to get a whole bunch of good timing if they are more defensive. They have to move into a certain area. Looks like Milch Buddy is going to use Lockdown to stop Blippy Cheese from doing some stuff. He's going to get his energy drained slightly. These Scourges are going to do some damage to him. Not quite put him into the shields, but look at that. Second round from Conway 2. The first ones from Conway 1, and it looks like the second ones are going to get them as well. So the blue side is gonna have to figure out how to quite break this formation. Looks like Bilbo Dragon does have a Psionic Shockwave. Yeah, Psionic Shockwave. If he Bobby Hill gets to that that's my first I don't know you button to push them back into base, that could actually be a super fantastic kill. And it looks like he's gonna do a whole bunch of damage. Now Apnea is gonna be stopped right there because he's gonna use his Scourge at 500 health. Will they get the Overlord? They won't necessarily, but I mean, look at how much damage they've done. But Apnea, because he used the Scourge, he's gonna kind of stuck there while the Scourge channeled him a little bit. And Jack is gonna make very quick work of Apnea right there. It looks like Apnea is taken out. The confusion brought on by the very early, very interesting use of Psionic Shockwave right there. They probably just assumed he was just standing there, just waiting to get shot, but he was apparently just using the rope-a-dope technique of trapping them in. Looks like tearing her up. The nuke is ready. He doesn't have energy for it. He spent a whole bunch of money, 400, to buy the nuke. But because of that, he doesn't have money to spend on other stuff. He went for anything else. He went for speed. He has long-boot missiles. All that stuff's a lot lower because he went for the nuke. He also doesn't have as much energy. That's just his starting energy 225. And if you have anything that can drain energy, like Milch Buddy's Lockdown, it can stop you from really regenerating that. There's no hard and fast rule about how much energy you should have. I generally think it helps to have 200 plus however much your ability costs, basically balancing out how much how quick the cooldown is. So something long like a cooldown of 150 for nuke, you can get away with maybe 300 right there is a good amount. You don't necessarily need the 200 extra, but if you had a whole bunch of fast abilities, then you might want them. Looks like a explosive charge and now protective field. So Chen went for the explosive charge in the very beginning, do a bunch of damage at close range. Then he decides to, hey, I'm going to be a Dreadnought and use that protective field. He is the tank. He will tank. He can also do some damage. Conway 2, 530, 785 from Milch Buddy. Get OSC, 553. Chen, 299. Let's call it 300. Panks Inji has 766 and is going to turn around, try to do some extra damage. Not quite catching them, but hey, look at this delicious farm right there. He's going to gobble that up with those laser batteries, which are now 2-shot because it went past the 10-minute mark. Before the 10-minute mark, it is 1-shot at 4 lasers. Anything other than that, push them away. It does about 1,000 damage to other ships, including your own, including your allies, but he just pushed them away. Looks like Blippy Cheese is going to use that electromagnetic storm. Now there we go. Now that's the way to use the nuke. Kabam! Right onto Milch Buddy. Because they were attacking, they'd have to turn around and run away at faster than 1.82 speed, and that's just not going to happen. So fantastic ability right there. Definitely slapped Milch Buddy, making him decide whether he wants to continue advancing at lower health or go back to base. He's going to be attacking at lower health. He does not have what's it called? The Biosteel. It would be helpful. He might not have had that money right there. He wanted to go for other stuff because he went for N ability. Even if it wasn't the $400 ability, the $250 lockdown still costs money. Still isn't things that are like speed. He went for extra speed. He went for missiles. He just happens not to have the extra 175 to buy regenerative Biosteel, which at 125, as well as automatic repairs, which is fire suppression system. Sorry, which is $50. Looks like Conway 2 gonna launch around a Scourge. Jack, because he has the protected field, gets the 50 extra armor and decides just to tank those. Smart decision. sometimes you can press the button and then the Scourge attack after the predictive field is gone, and you don't get that benefit right there. Looks like GetOSC is going to be farming up the side. Looks like the entirety of the red side is going to be in that Goldilocks zone right there. Panks Inji trying to do some damage. Now, if they can get a tower, some people don't like to kill the towers that quickly. I always generally think it is helpful. There is some slight adjustment to the farm ships, the Phoenixes, the Vikings, if you take them out. But I mean, not having the ability to chase the opponent a little bit further into base is also helpful. So it looks like Milch Buddy is going to use that ability. Now, this Arbiter, Blicky Cheese, does have 500, and Milch Buddy's lockdown only drains about 100, so 10 energy per second, 10 times 10 seconds, 100 energy, but it also stops you from using your abilities for 10 seconds, which is almost more important right there. It looks like GetOSC is back at base, spent his money. We got Chen moving back, Milch Buddy, Conway. Milch Buddy has 425 and Conway has 461. Looks like GetOSC's going up along the side, seeing if they can get some sneaky kills right now. Now the blue side is finally in the Goldilocks zone. They are a little bit behind in farm, but they're trying to balance that on out. Let's see what they end up doing. Terraner up has a defensive shield as well, so he is more tanky because he has this defensive shield, adding 2100 extra life. No armor count on that life, but 21 extra damage that the missiles have to do, regardless. Oh, it looks like the blue side's wise to these tricks. Looks like GetOSC's in the gas right there. Turner up over there. Nuke still has about 100 and some odd seconds, so he's not going to be able to nuke them right there. Conway too warps in at the in the gas, which is great, but unfortunately right on top of everybody else. Bilbo Dragon uses that get away from me button, pushes everybody away, including his allies. GetOSC trying to do some damage, but not necessarily able to do so. Chen warping in, but just in time to chase Jack. Looks like we have some some Dreadnought on Dreadnought action right there. But the Dreadnought is obviously a tank, and we'll definitely be able to take that for a little while. Has a 24 base armor plus 50. Looks like Blicky Cheese gonna give him some shield love right there. He could give that to the Dreadnought as well, but the Battlecruiser is not only lower, but also doesn't have the armor count. 24 base armor for the Dreadnought, and only 7 for the Battlecruiser. Battlecruisers are relatively armored. They are more armored than frigates. They are more armored than Guardians, but relatively more armored isn't the same thing as being the tank. They're just more tankalicious than some other less tanky units. Looks like we got some force fields, fantastic ability right there. Creates a barrier that stops enemy missiles, lasts 6 seconds. Don't we all sometimes? Looks like it's going to be beneficial to stop the missiles coming in. It is helpful because it stacks pretty well. It's super fast, lasts 6 seconds. I still think it's a little bit strong in general, but when you have so many missiles from Ghetto, from Panks Inji, from Milch Buddy, then it's extremely helpful to have. Definitely going to be a benefit for the blue side. Now it looks like Jack's going to be caught a little bit off guard. He is going to use his own predictive field and get a little bit of love from Blicky Cheese right there. Probably definitely going to help him escape right there. And the missile being blocked by the force field is also super helpful. Bilbo Dragon moving in, has his one ability, will he end up using it? The nuke hit Milch Buddy. Bilbo Dragon moving into attack position, into push position. He pushes everybody away, but now he's at such low health. Will this actually, survive for him? Beautiful use of feedback right there on the Guardian. The Guardian was hankering, was winding up for the kill right there with the Scourge. He was channeled for a second and wanted to kill Bilbo Dragon. He definitely would have if Blippy Cheese didn't think quickly and use his feedback ability. So while the blue side wasn't necessarily able to kill anybody there, they definitely stopped an attack right there. Looks like GetOSC is going to move on back to base. 732. Panks Inji moving back 480. Milch Buddy 525, and Conway 2, the second one, has 386. Chen 206. Not particularly in danger right here. Can turn around to try to farm a little bit. Gonna launch some Griffins. to do that a little bit more effectively at range. He could have flown in there to shoot them himself, but that pushes you a little bit closer to the enemy. The enemies are not nice to be around, and therefore moving back is super helpful. Looks like OSC is going to be a sneaky moving on the side. Going around the rocks, has afterburners, has ripwave warheads. Ripwave warheads are a direct, oh, I don't like the word counter. I don't like the word counter. But they are super helpful against force fields. Force fields don't stop rip waves. Rip waves are designed to go through them. It costs 40 base energy plus extra when you have upgrades on your backlash rockets. So it's probably 49 right now because he has 9 upgrades on his backlash rockets. Looks like OSC is going to move in there. Convoy 2 moving in now. Looks like the blue side sees them. The blue side sees them, launches the nuke at Convoy 2. Convoy 2 moves away. He's going to be pretty close. He will be possibly hit by this nuke. Indeed is hit by the nuke, but he's moved back in time. He had to move back out of the combat zone. Did not want to stay there, did not want to take the damage and stay in the zone, so he had to move on back, which effectively puts him so far behind. The blue side has to stay there a little bit longer for him to even get close to attack. Get OSC, getting his energy drained. You can't use this, let's see, it is 49 yet, because it's 40 base plus every upgrade that you have on your backlash rockets. Every more damage that you do, the more it costs to launch them out effectively. Looks like Convoy 2 is going to launch a bunch of Scourge. The Scourge do a bunch of damage. Looks like tearing her up is going to be around there. Oh, another attack from the Psionic Shockwave, really stopping them in their tracks more often than not. Tearing her up, moving in there, and he is the damage dealer as well. He's got the nuke, obviously, we've seen, a defensive shield, which we've seen as well. Might need some more energy for both of them, but in the meantime, he has longbow missiles all over the place at 8 upgrades. Milch Buddy, 6 upgrades, 3 abilities, lockdown, defensive shield, and missile pods. Missile pods, super helpful if there's, if there's carriers, there's not anymore. Also helpful if they're bunched up, so that is another thing you can do. Also super helpful for fun. It's just more optimal for carrier combat, but not unhelpful anywhere else. Looks like 10 upgrades for Panxinji. Panxinji knows that he's the frigate, has the ripwave warheads as well, and is going to just launch them as much as possible. 10, so 50. Elbow Dragon moving in. It looks like tearing her up is going to be the damage dealer. He's going to be around Blippy Cheese. Blippy Cheese has, the cute little observer buddy. Cute little observer buddy is going to be giving them some vision. It is helpful to have, in general. There's no void rays, nothing crazy like that. There's no cloaking. I mean, technically, I guess you could cloak some wraiths, but more likely than you're not going to. And even if you are, it's not really super helpful to have a observer around. But the extra vision is always helpful. You can put it in the gas cloud. You can see into the gas cloud. If you put it around, you can see if they're going to warp trick, something like that. And because we've already seen 2 warp tricks, I think it's pretty reasonable to say that there might be a third. Looks like Jack is going to be into the siege mode. Going to do a whole bunch of damage. He does 1230 at 18 range. That can only go up from here, and he's going to be kind of in the middle. But around him is the entirety of the blue side. Got some hot Overlord on frigate action. Looks like he's going to try to do some damage, but Bilbo moves back into the gas. And because the Terran Rep moves him in, Ghetto's going to move on out. Frigates versus battlecruisers. Battlecruisers have the advantage of armor. They have the advantage of defensive shield. They can have some energy drain type stuff. Frigates are more, not rock, paper, scissory, but they're a lot more designed for one thing and do that one thing really well. They're one thing that they do, run away, do some damage at distance. Kiting is super important for frigates, and if they can't run away, if they can't use those advantages, then the battlecruiser can get some pretty decent kills. It's a pretty fair fight. It's just 2 kind of different roles. These cute little babies are corruptors and mutalisks as well. Those are created by Bilbo. He has swarm commands. They spawn from the mothership, but Jack doing some damage. Jack attacking Milch Buddy. Milch Buddy pushes his allies back, but also pushes everybody else back. Milch Buddy launching, almost wanted to launch a nuke, but Blippy Cheese again came in right there with the feedback right there and did a whole bunch of damage, and that really saved their team. Tearing her up, taking some damage, but the nuke is on Milch Buddy. Milch Buddy it doesn't seem to have any the fire suppression system doesn't seem to have the healing ability. So he's going to move on back to base. If he was further, that might have actually killed him. It looks like he will make it back to base with about 600-ish, but really should spend that money to buy these two abilities. They are super helpful to have. It looks like he does have Biosteel, but the fire suppression right there is also helpful. It looks like great defense from the blue side, extending that ability. Jack was doing some damage in siege mode, and it was just a gamble of if he stayed in siege mode, he could possibly get a kill, but he also possibly could have been killed because it drops the one thing that Dreadnoughts are there for, which is tanking at the cost of doing damage. So it's a risky proposal, especially with so much missiling and damage potential from the blue side. But it looks like Blippy Cheese is going to fly along the side. Has about 500. Looks like a 642 from Bilbo. It looks like tearing her up 684, Jack 450. And Dreadnought's abilities are not very expensive. So Protective Field is 50 energy. Repair Bots are 50 energy. Siege Mode is the most, but it's the ultimate, the 150. And it looks like he's going to scare them away. It looks like Convoy 2, not trying to take that damage. He could use Darkstorm. It might be helpful. He's going to use it right there to protect himself and Chen if they go into that area. But seeing this damage really just pushes them away. Ooh, that's a good combination right there. We got some Chrono Boost from Blippy Cheese onto Jack. Jack is going to be especially spicy right here with extra damage. It speeds up how quickly he can shoot. And if your main thing is doing damage, then shooting faster is obviously helpful. It looks like Milch Buddy moving along the side. Now that the Dreadnought is back to base to upgrade, he's gonna be in a more able position to attack. Tearing her up, not trying to extend too much. Does see an opportunity right here to do some damage. His regular missiles are not bad. Oh, nuke right there. Nuke. If it catches him, it could kill him. Will that be enough? Oh no, he was drained. He was drained by Milch Buddy. That lockdown, that counter nuke, the counter nuke onto Jack, also affecting tearing her up right there. Bilbo Dragon moving in, has 21 Mutalisks. 21 Mutalisks would be fantastic to farm, and I guess can start doing some damage against capital ships. It looks like he can try to use that Shockwave. Yes, Shock is always an option. It looks like Jack gonna do some damage. Convoy 2, being drained, and another couple shots could actually take him out, and Jack takes out Convoy 2. And he's going to be boosted as well if they go in for the counterattack, but he also probably should get out of the siege mode. It just drops your speed so much. He has 1.82 speed, which cost, I think, the $400 ability for Dreadnoughts. So it was 50, 100, 200, 400. But because he's in siege mode, it drops you down super a lot. Now, once he gets out of siege mode, look at him, super speedy. Now, he's not going to be faster than the Arbiter. He is as fast as the Battlecruiser, which costs a little bit less. But he's very easy to get into and out of combat. And because of how much damage potential there is for the red side, being able to get on out of siege mode when you need to is helpful. Ooh, we got some sneaky warping over here. We got Milch Buddy over there. He's got nuke in 30 seconds. Get OSC, moving in. Ripwave warheads up to 14 damage. Looks like 6 from these longboat missiles right here. Who else will join them at their party, if anybody? Sometimes it's helpful to have one person back at base just to make sure. Oh, look at that. It looks like Milch Buddy is going to do some damage. Panks Inji warps in just in time to take some damage. We got Bilbo Dragon. His psionic shockwave isn't necessarily there. We got some hot, frigate on a Overlord action. Looks like the Overlord is just going to keep on attacking no matter what. He's going to keep on moving there. It looks like Milch Buddy is taken out. We got a Dreadnought still right there. They're doing some damage. The tower's almost gone as well. And it looks like now this just a one-on-one combat right here. Overlord having no fear, using the Mutalisk at 21 upgrades. Now the laser batteries are going to try to do whatever they possibly can. He's within the couple of inches that it takes. Frigate, his main thing is using rockets. You can't use rockets at point blank range. It looks like he's going to try to just run away. Bilbo Dragon taken out by KOSC, but look at these Mutalisks trying to come up with the revenge. If they catch him up, they actually could be pretty close. But it looks like the frigate is the winner. But I mean, it wasn't super close. The missiles again don't work if you get super close in their face. There's a small radius where they won't attack. He just was relying on his laser batteries, not his focus in any way. So it did almost work. And the Sonic Shockwave was on cooldown, unable to do that. Looks like picking up from where they left off. Looks like it's a 3 versus 3 right here. What is left at this point? We got Pank Shinji, the frigate, had 20 upgrades on his backlash rockets. Ghetto C, 14 upgrades on his backlash rockets. Has a lot of shielding right there. Shielding right there as well. And it looks like a dreadnought. So we got 2 far distance damage dealers, as well as a dreadnought. Looks like we got a dreadnought to do some, obviously some sieging, as well as some tanking. Tearing her up, the battlecruiser, kind of a Mario in Super Smash Bros. Good at most things, doesn't focus on one thing in particular. Does have the ability to drain energy, and he might have to pick that up now at this point. It looks like Blippi Cheese going to be the only healer, the only mage person right here. Has Chrono Boost, is definitely using it on Jack. Jack's going to move on out of combat. Again, he's pretty fast, so we could actually catch up with the frigates, not necessarily fully, but stay within that 8 range that you generally need for your Gatling cannons. And with that, he's going to be around. Ooh, that's a good combination as well. I wonder if somebody's controlling this this little cute observer buddy, or whether that's just all Blippi Cheese. Because you can have an ally who's dead take care of the observer, and that might be helpful, because this dreadnought can probably shoot a little bit further than it can see in a lot of situations. Has a 18 range. If you extend that vision, you can get a couple extra shots going on, or make sure you're not being surrounded. Picks up the dreadnought. The dreadnought picks up the battle station relatively quickly. It was already super injured, but with that, just made it right through. Ooh, splash damage goes on 1-2 ships right there. We got a Chen moving in against these Tempests. These Tempests are protected primarily by the force field, and once that's gone, they go away pretty quickly as well. We got Yamato cannons all over the place. Ghetto SC trying to do some damage as well. He has to use his Ripwave warheads, basically guaranteeing that he has to spend all this money to go from 225 energy to 600 energy, just to make sure he can almost always use it. Now, right there, when he got feedback, he's gonna have to wait a little bit to get those Ripwave warheads back in action. Looks like Pank Shinji similarly has 500 energy, again going up from 225 to 500, costing 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, all the way on up. It's going to cost about 100 money just to upgrade that. I can check actually. Let's see. It's going to cost 105, in fact. So it looks like Dreadnought warps on back to base. Everybody else does go on back to base. Blippi Cheese going to get a little bit of boost as well, or going to get a little bit of boost as well. 625 money right there. 842. Try to get the money situation shown as much as possible. Sometimes it's not, but looks like Jack already spent his money. Has 16 upgrades on Gatling cannon. In the Gatling cannon, it's going to be faster every time that you upgrade your Gatling cannon, as well as it's going to be faster every time you're in siege mode when you upgrade this as well. So, dreadnoughts are, there's certain ships that are, kind of have a role and a weakness and a play style, however you want to say it. Dreadnoughts are position ships. You are perfectly safe if you're past 8 range, because laser batteries generally don't get upgraded too much. But you're in super danger if you're nuked. You're in super danger if you're getting super close. It looks like Ghetto C getting chased by Jack, tearing her up, doing a whole bunch of damage against Pank Shinji. Will either of them get a kill? It looks like Ghetto C, yes, he's faster, 1.92 speed, but he got the right angle, and he's being boosted, and it's pretty close. It looks like Pank Shinji and Ghetto C are in a race to who can die first. Pank Shinji's a little close, but tearing her up does take him out. Ghetto C gonna be on back to base, but look how much damage he was taking. Jack, because he spent all that money on speed, he was able to get pretty close, and that is gonna be good. And that's GG right there. Hope you guys